Hey, this is Jeff Karras, your behavior guy. I'm back. We've been talking a lot about growth mindset and just looking at functions of why behaviors are happening. So today we're going to touch on the topic of grit and how to teach resilience in your children and your students. So it is really important to teach grit, and that helps with growth mindset. That's a piece of it. So that means what you're doing is you are teaching them to fight through when there's a challenge. They're being resilient. They have grit, determination, so they can keep going and succeed through that challenge. So some strategies for helping teach about grit in children are to talk about their dreams, their goals, help them goal set. Think about what is your goal you're looking forward to and help them chunk that up into small pieces so they can try to accomplish that goal. They could make like a bucket list or things they'd like to accomplish in the next year, or things they'd like to accomplish over a certain period of time. That helps with that. To share stories. As adults, we've heard about many different people, right? Now, I know a ton of athletes who have overcome different things. So one example is I'm a Bills fan, so Ray Davis is a great example of grit and how he's overcome to get to where he's got. So when he was on the TV, I would teach my kids about his story a little bit to tell them what that was like. So think of famous people you know. Doesn't matter if they're athletes, whatever position they hold, but tell your children stories about how they overcame different obstacles. And then have your children identify what the challenge is. So when they're faced with struggles, ask them, what is challenging about this? And then talk through that with them, because then they can start to dissect it a little bit and tackle it. Share stories of yourself. We've all been through challenges in our life. We've all made mistakes, right? So when we mess up at work or when we make a mistake, it's great to share that with your children and how we've overcome that and kept on moving forward. Because nowadays, when children make a mistake, it's all over social media a lot of times, or their friends are talking about it, right? So it's almost like mistakes seem permanent. Not like when I grew up, when you make a mistake, you just move on and nobody really even knows about it. Now it's much more public because of the social media, right? So teach them how we overcome obstacles and mistakes, because everybody makes them. Make sure you're praising their effort, not their abilities. Make sure that they know you love them even when they fail. So even when they're making a mistake, make sure they know we still love them. And then do a worst case scenario analysis with them. So if they're afraid to try something because of the challenge, ask them, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? Let's talk about that. That helps them gain confidence in tackling it. So these are all things that we can do to help our child work on their grit and their resilience. This is Jeff Karras, your behavior guy. I'll see you later.